Welcome to Project Management. In this video, I will give you a brief overview of this course. This course is designed to provide an introduction to project management. Effective project management is critical to business and organizational success. In this course, students will learn how to apply the fundamental concepts, processes, and proven techniques of project management to real-world examples. We will talk about how to initiate, plan, execute, control, and finally close a project. These processes are important for the success of any projects. This course will cover the following topics: Introduction to Project Management, Organizational Strategy and Project Selection, Organizational Structure and Culture, How to properly define a project, How to estimate times and costs related to a project, How to develop a project network, Managing risks, Scheduling resources, Project crashing, or in other words, reducing a project's duration or accelerating a project, Leadership skills for an effective project manager, How to build and maintain a high-performance project team, Outsourcing and inter-organizational relation management, Progress monitoring and project evaluation, Project closure. If time allows, we'll also introduce how to manage international projects and what Agile project management is. I should mention that this course is an introductory course. We will only talk about the basic concepts and show you the relevant examples. Each topic listed here can actually be extended to a semester-long separate course. Microsoft Project is a popular software program for project management. It makes a project manager's job much easier when developing a project schedule, assigning resources to tasks, tracking project progress, managing the budget, and analyzing workloads. Step-by-step tutorial of using Microsoft Project will be introduced in this course. If you are a Binghamton University student, you can access the software on the Engineering Applications virtual desktop at bingview.binghamton.edu. If you are not a Binghamton University student, you can download a trial version of Microsoft Project from Microsoft official website and install it on your own computer and use it for free for 30 days. It's highly recommended to have a textbook for reference when you are taking this course. There are many great textbooks of project management. For example, Project Management, The Managerial Process by Larson and Gray. It's one of the classics and is used in many universities in the United States. Project Management Institute, or PMI, is a global professional organization for project management. PMI has a flagship publication titled PMBOK Guide. PMBOK stands for Project Management Body of Knowledge. It has been updated every few years to reflect the latest good practices in project management. The knowledge covered in this course is consistent with this guide. This course is well structured to meet the needs of those who are preparing for the PMP or CAPM exams. PMP stands for Project Management Professional, and CAPM stands for Certified Associate in Project Management. However, we still recommend that students who wish to pass these exams on the first try to complement this course with a PMP or CAPM exam prep book. These books, like Rita's PMP Exam Prep, provide test-taking strategies and complete practice exams that are essential for succeeding on the exam. The knowledge of project management is interdisciplinary in nature. Therefore, this course is designed for a wide audience. Most of the concepts, principles, and techniques introduced here are universally applicable in many different areas. This course will be of primary interest to junior and senior undergraduate students, as well as first-year graduate students in various disciplines in science, technology, engineering, and business. Other students who need an overview of the main topics in project management may find the course helpful as well. This course is also suitable for professionals who are carrying out projects in various industries for career development. It will help them understand why organizations have developed a formal project management process to gain competitive advantages. Project managers can use the course as a valuable guide and reference when dealing with typical problems that arise in their daily work. This is not really a mathematically intensive course. Therefore, a basic understanding of high school algebra, probability, and statistics will be enough for taking this course. You may be surprised to know that in the old days before the 1990s, most project management training was accomplished on the job, where prospective project managers were expected to learn from their mistakes. Since the 1990s, the responsibility for preliminary training of project managers have been gradually shifted to universities. Today, many universities offer project management classes, with the core group of engineers being supplemented by business students majoring in marketing, management information systems, and finance, as well as students from other disciplines such as health science, computer science, and liberal arts. There is also a growing number of on-the-job project management training opportunities, such as seminars, workshops, micro-courses offered to employees. Efforts such as the PMP Certification program have created a common bond between practitioners and academia. A nation's economy can be roughly divided into two sectors, the private sector and the public sector. In the private sector, the businesses are run by individuals or companies. Most private sector organizations are run with the intention of making money. Charities and non-profit organizations are also considered parts of the private sector. The economy of the public sector are controlled by the federal, state, and local governments. Most public infrastructure belongs to the public sector. Examples include roads, bridges, tunnels, water supplies, sewers, electrical grids, public transit, public education, and public healthcare programs. Project management can be used for both sectors. For the private sector, the development of a new product is a project and relies on project management skills. One example is Google's self-driving car called Waymo, which will finally be commercialized after development. Another example is Apple's iPhones. The development of each generation of iPhones is a project and will definitely require project management techniques. Project management is also a vehicle for doing good deeds and solving social problems in the public sector. An example of the public sector project is the emergency aid provided by the federal and state governments to Binghamton after the 2011 flood to help with rescue and recovery efforts. Another public sector project is the construction of the interstate highway system that was funded by the federal government of the United States. In fact, all of mankind's greatest accomplishments, from building the Great Pyramids to developing a vaccine for measles to putting a man on the moon, began as a project and evolved project management. Here, I listed some benefits of good project management. For example, good project management will lead to better control of financial, physical, and human resources. It can also improve the customer relations. A well-managed project will likely go more smoothly and take less time to deliver high-quality final products to the customer, and therefore the cost will be lower and the profit margin will be higher. People who work for the project will have higher morale and less stress. Next, I will show you two video clips of successful project management. You will hear some new concepts we are about to learn in this course. I apologize for the low resolution of these two videos. These are the best versions I can find. The first example is the Six Flags Kinda Car roller coaster construction project in New Jersey. Okay, that was the first example of successful project management. The second example is a construction project of Clark Bridge across the Mississippi River between Illinois and Missouri. In the second example, you can see that a project manager has to constantly deal with unexpected events during the course of the entire project to meet the budget and schedule. The best practices will be introduced in this course. If a project manager lacks good project management skills, the results could be significant schedule and budget overruns, millions or sometimes even billions of dollars wasted. The project manager and the entire team may also get fired. Watch this YouTube video titled World's Finest Engineering Fails to see some examples that are the results of poor project management. Projects have a great impact on a country's economy. Statistics show that about 2.5 trillion US dollars, or 25% of the GDP, are spent on projects each year in the United States alone. More than 1 million project management positions are created globally every year in the 7 most project-intensive industries. These industries are business services, construction, finance and insurance, information systems, manufacturing, oil and gas, and utilities. Many students always wonder, how am I supposed to use the knowledge I have learned from a course in my future job after graduation? Project management is one of those courses that are directly driven by industry needs. The demand for project managers continues to grow globally. Let's take a look at the official statistics from the United States Department of Labor. Statistics show that there are a total of 188,000 architectural and engineering managers. The mean annual salary is about $149,000. The jobs are spread out in different industries. You can see the industries with the highest levels of employment in this occupation. Industries with the highest concentration of employment in this occupation, and top paying industries for this occupation. You can also see the employment of project managers by state. For example, the mean wage is over $161,000 in New York State. Overall, the job outlook is decent. Now let me introduce a little bit more about the Project Management Institute. As I mentioned before, PMI is an international society for project managers. It was founded in 1969 at Georgia Institute of Technology. Nowadays, PMI members come from virtually every major industry: aerospace, automotive, business management, construction, engineering, financial services, information technology, pharmaceuticals, healthcare, and telecommunications, just to name a few. Since project management has developed to the point where it is a professional discipline, PMI is governing the development of its own standards and body of knowledge. PMI is also involved in research, education, publication, providing networking opportunities in local chapters, hosting conferences and training seminars, and providing accreditation in project management. A certified project management professional, or PMP, has documented sufficient project experience, agrees to follow the PMI Code of Professional Conduct, and demonstrated mastery of the field of project management by passing a comprehensive exam. Passing the PMP exam is a de facto standard for project managers. Some companies require that all their project managers be PMP certified. Many job postings are restricted to PMPs. Statistics show that PMP certified project managers earn 20% more than uncertified colleagues. So in other words, a PMP certificate may increase your salary by 20%. PMI launched the PMP certification program in the 1980s, and the number of people earning PMP status has grown dramatically since then. In 2017, this number has reached 774,000. PMP credential holders are from over 200 countries and territories around the world. There are about 150 local chapters in the United States, and 9 of them are in New York State. The PMI Binghamton chapter is formed in 1998. It has been actively providing learning and networking opportunities for its members in the local area since then. Now a little bit information about the PMP exam. Please note that PMI occasionally make changes to various aspects of the exam to keep up with the latest project management body of knowledge. You should refer to the official PMI website to check the latest information before you take the PMP exam. The exam is based on the PMI Project Management Body of Knowledge, or the PMBOK. If you have a high school diploma, an associate degree, or equivalent, you will need 35 hours of project management education, which are called contact hours, and 7,500 hours of experience leading and directing projects before you can take the exam. 7,500 hours is approximately equivalent to 5 years of experience. Or, if you have a 4-year bachelor's degree, you will need 35 contact hours and 4,500 hours of experience leading and directing projects before you can take the exam. 4,500 hours is equivalent to about 3 years of experience. The PMP exam includes 200 multiple choice questions with 4 choices and only 1 best answer to each question. The exam is usually offered on a computer at designated testing sites, but it might be different depending on the country you are in. The exam must be completed in 4 hours. You get 1 point for each correct answer. PMI has not published what it considered to be a passing score, but based on unofficial exam statistics, you need to answer 65 to 69% of the questions correctly to pass the exam. It's a closed book exam. That means no reference materials are allowed during the exam. If you are a PMI member, the fee for taking the exam is $405. Otherwise, it's $555. The percentage distribution of the exam questions in each project management process is shown here. 13% of the questions will be related to initiating the project. 24% will be related to project planning, and so on. The questions are randomly generated from a database containing hundreds of questions. The questions may jump from topic to topic, and a single question may integrate multiple concepts. The Certified Associates in Project Management, or CAPM certification, is designed for project team members and entry-level project managers. The prerequisites for taking the CAPM exam is not as extensive as those for taking the PMP exam. You need at least a high school diploma or associate's degree. You will also need 1,500 hours of project experience or 23 hours of project management education before you can take the exam. The CAPM exam includes 150 multiple choice questions. The exam is usually a 3-hour computer-based test. It's also a closed-book exam and no reference materials are allowed. The CAPM exam is less expensive than the PMP exam. The fee is $225 for a PMI member and $300 for a non-member. As I mentioned before, this course is well structured to meet the needs of those wishing to prepare for the PMP or CAPM certification exams. But we still recommend that students who wish to pass these exams on the first try to complement this course with a PMP or CAPM exam prep book. These books specifically provide test-taking strategies and complete practice exams. When I teach this course to undergraduate students, I got asked this question a lot. Why should we undergrad students learn project management? It's true that undergrads are unlikely to be project managers and lead teams immediately after graduation, but they will most likely be team members. Understanding project management will help them perform better on project teams. Also, companies don't appear to invest enough time or money to properly train project managers. Some preliminary project management knowledge will help them avoid some common mistakes on the job. Project management continues to be an important career field. This course will prepare students and open doors to more job opportunities upon graduation. Besides, many daily life challenges can be considered as a project. Project management can help people deal with these challenges and produce better solutions. More and more employers are looking for graduates with project management skills. According to a US News article titled 7 Key Skills You Need to Get Hired, project management is listed as the most wanted skill. According to another US News article titled Top 10 Skills You Need to Be Successful, project management is ranked number 7. This core set of 10 skills can be applied to any position in any company. When you practice and strengthen these skills in your work, you will rise to the top. All these skills are listed here in a general sense. For example, the skill of sales. You are always selling, even if your role doesn't include sales in the job description. You sell during marketing activities, team meetings, customer service, conferences, business development, engineering, user experience, and more. A solid foundation in how to sell can give you a wide advantage over your colleagues and competitors. Transferable skills, for example, during a summer job as a waiter or waitress, you likely learned critical people skills, such as communication, customer service, and teamwork. Project management skills mean that you see the big picture and break it down into small, manageable, and action-oriented steps. You don't just have the ideas, but also can execute on those ideas. You have the ability to prioritize and get things done with time and budget constraints. Project management provides people with a powerful set of tools that improves their ability to plan, implement, and manage activities to accomplish specific objectives. But project management is more than just a set of tools. It's a result-oriented management style that places a premium on building collaborative relationships among a diverse group of people who work together. Today, it's nearly impossible to imagine anyone at any level in an organization who would not benefit from some degree of expertise of managing projects. It's our hope to upgrade your brain, upgrade your cognition, and upgrade your professional competence through this course. To quote Justice Holmes Jr., "Man's mind, once stretched by a new idea, never regains its original dimensions." This is our goal. Okay, that was a brief overview of this project management course. This is Wang, and I'll see you in the next video.